So the competitors continued, and the quad still there. Good news to see Daniel Giroux still going, lying in 53rd place overall, but he's still in the event. And another man who's still in the event as well is the American rider Jimmy Lewis, who we've seen performing well on the last couple of days. He was 10th fastest today and lies in 4th place overall.
The stage was totally fun, super fast. I don't think there was one danger mark on the whole thing.
Back with Carlos Sotelo, who set the 3rd fastest time today, but there was a retirement for another of the Spaniards. Fernando Gil on the KTM was lying in 7th place, but he went out today, so another last-minute retirement, and that really is bad news for him. Stefan Peter-Hansel, 6th fastest today, only 5 minutes slower than the stage winner, and enjoying a 2-hour 38-minute lead. An absolutely massive advantage still there for Stefan Peter-Hansel. I'm happy to be at the end of today because it still has to be done. Tomorrow will be much easier. Oscar Gallardo, 8th fastest today, still lying in 2nd place overall, just trying to protect that 2nd position. Get on the podium in Dakar, that is now his main ambition. After the special stage, it wasn't too bad for me, it was okay. It was fairly short today, not many problems. We had to be very careful with the navigation because it was very easy to get lost, but without any problem today. Dirk von Zitzwitz also going well, the rookie on the Dakar, 4th today, lying in 5th place overall, following the retirement of so many of the top riders. Von Zitzwitz on his first Dakar and in there in the top 5. And back with Marquez, fastest today, and delighted also to be heading towards the final checkpoint of this stage because his wife Elisa would be waiting for him. The 34-year-old on his 4th Dakar, 9 times the Portuguese Enduro champion, but Portuguese Enduro is not really preparing you for things like the Dakar. Great performance from him today, though. Saying hey, how much he likes the Dakar, how much he wants to come back. And next time he perhaps will attack even harder now that he knows things. Elisa there to greet him at the end of the stage. Little unexpected perhaps. Wives and girlfriends no doubt expected to be seen in Dakar rather than at the end of the stage here in St. Louis. But they just couldn't keep away. And Marquez absolutely delighted. He says it's been a fantastic day, really surprising that it went so well today for me, but I'm absolutely delighted. Set the fastest time and hopefully make it through to the finish. We've just got a short stage to go now, so I'm looking forward to the end. And coming in then, 3rd fastest today, Carlos Sotelo. Equally delighted with his performance, and now really it's almost over. There's only an 18-kilometer stage to go tomorrow. They've got a little bit further to run on the roads, but in some ways this is the moral finish of the event. Jean Brucy saying, I think I could have set the fastest time today, but my GPS stopped working 5 kilometers from the end, so I hesitated a little bit. I lost around 20 seconds, but it doesn't matter too much. Jean Brucy's wife also there at the end of the stage. At the end of 2 weeks of desert riding. Good to see each other once again. So the results of today's stage then, and that fastest time for Marquez from Portugal, and his first time at the head of the leaderboard on a day's stage. Otherwise, much the same. Eric Bernard, who was fastest yesterday, 5th fastest today. John Deacon was 21st fastest on the bikes today. He lies in 16th place overall. And Ian Graham, the man who set the record effectively last year by becoming the first British rider to get to the finish in Dakar, it looks as though he's going to do the same again this year. He was 35th on the stage today and 28th overall. So the 2 Brits still going in the motorbike class. And so to the cars now, and good news for British fans of Dick Partridge, who is still in the Dakar. He certainly was when we had the results through last night, finally, when they got to Kiefer. He was missing from the previous set of results, but Dick Partridge 77th into Kiefer. So it does still look good that he's going to make it all the way to Dakar for the first time in 5 attempts. But this was the scene this morning ready for the start of the stage. The sunshine still burning in Africa, but we're almost to the end of the event. The last few days, the last couple of days now, that we'll be seeing that sunshine beaming into the winter in Europe. But the Mitsubishis, well, sunshine for them because they're still going so well up front with all three of their cars, and it's been an amazingly reliable run when you think about it. Thousands and thousands of miles covered through the most incredible conditions, and they still got these three cars running, and they don't seem to have missed a beat the whole way along. This is the overall leader, Kenjiro Shinazuka, the Japanese driver who really will become an even greater hero in Japan as a result of winning the Dakar. To become the first Japanese driver to do so when he's really achieved great success in terms of motorsport in the past. He was the first Japanese driver to win a World Championship rally, the first ever Japanese driver to complete the Safari Rally as well. He's turned into a real African specialist, Kenjiro Shinazuka, and when you think the terrain and how different it is to anything that they must encounter in Japan, it's great to see his performance on the event this year. Bruno Sabi there in the number 202, backing up Shinazuka's attempt, but with all three of them running so well, the team orders really had to come in at some point, and it was decided just a few days ago that Shinazuka, it would be given the win as long as the car held together properly. Wasabi still pushing hard, and you could see just how easy it would be to make a mistake at the end of nearly 2 weeks, how easy it would be to just overstep the mark a little bit and crash into a tree, but we haven't seen any of those sort of problems all the way along. Fontenay making it in safely today as fastest. I really enjoyed all the special stages we've had since the beginning. The event's been great all the way through. Since the start, there were all sorts of different types of special stages. This one was good because it was fairly short. Sand was good. It's very slippery, though. I enjoyed it. And I came in just behind Shinazuka. Bruno Sabi saying we had to work out to make sure we all arrive together tomorrow at the Pink Lake, because the start we've given on the start of the previous stage, we have to work out exactly where the cars will be to make sure that they're all together at the end tomorrow. We had to get past a few of the other competitors today, like Jutta Kleinschmidt, to make sure she's not between us, and also to be close to Masuoka. I had to wait for my teammates and make sure that we all work it out together. Well, Hiroshi Masuoka also going well again today. He was fourth fastest, still lying in fourth place overall in the slightly different Pajero. But Jutta Kleinschmidt just moving out of the way there. She was fifth fastest today, and it looks as though the remaining Schlesser buggy is going to make it through to Dakar. Jean-Louis Schlesser still around to make sure that this buggy is running well. He's there at each of the overnight bivouacs to make sure everything's going well. And although he rolled out of the event fairly early on, Jutta Kleinschmidt still going, and that is very promising for future Dakars. They certainly were competitive in the early part of the event as well. So we really are almost at the end of the event now. Just the final bits and pieces to go on Sunday, and then the celebration time for those who make it through to the end. Salvador Serbia here, 8th today, 6th overall, the top Nissan in the event. Bruno Lotelleri, 11th today, 11th place overall, 2nd in the standard T1 class. But it's Carlos Souza who still leads in the T1 category overall. And there's a bit of excitement in the girls' team. Joanna Lemos and Karine Dure. These two very, very loud in their enjoyment of almost making it to the end of the last serious stage. And I don't think that needs much translating. Absolute delight. So the results of the cars today saw Jean-Pierre Fontenay actually faster of the Mitsubishis. They're all running together, as we saw, with Savi second, Shinezuka then next up, and Jutta Kleinschmidt still going well, just 6 minutes off the pace today. So no change in the overall ranking, with Kenjiro Shinezuka still enjoying that narrow lead over his teammates, and those three with a big advantage then over Masuoka, some 2 hours 25 minutes behind Shinezuka. An opportunity to go with Gilles Picard and Salvador Serbia here. Here we go, says Gilles Picard as usual. We're going to let the tyres get up to temperature. And then we're going to follow the sandy track, single track this time, not that much navigation, so not too difficult at the beginning of the stage. This car, remember, running in 6th place overall at the moment, with the very experienced Salvador Serbia at the wheel there. 52 years old. He's driven for various top teams in the past. In recent year, he's been driving for Citroën. In fact, he finished in 5th place in last year's event. But as you can see, it's still possible to make a mistake. Even that close to the end of the event, they're still pushing very hard. And it doesn't take an awful lot for the car to be thrown off the tracks, perhaps hit a bump or a rut at the side, and indeed for it to be flicked over if you get it a little bit too wrong. They're up on 2 wheels for Serbia, but it doesn't seem to bother him too much. Still fast for another 4 kilometers, he says, then it becomes a little bit more twisty. Serbia joking a little bit about the possibilities of trying to find a coffee somewhere along the route this time. Gilles Picard, co-driver, a former motorbike enduro rider himself, and a co-driver with Hubert Auriol and Ari Vatanen in past years.
On est entre 120 et 130 km/h.
We're running between 120 and 130 kilometers per hour. It's not that much, but it still can go wrong if it's not careful. Everything okay, it's a good rhythm. Serbia saying if you fall asleep, I can arrange a puncture.
En 400 mètres, ça devient plus sinueux dans la végétation.
Notes from Gilles Picard again that in a few hundred meters the track becomes more twisty.
Voilà, c'est plus sinueux à partir d'ici.
But the navigation certainly not proving to be too difficult, just following these tracks in the sand. Ooh, and it's still possible to make a mistake.
Non, tu coupes un peu les virages, mais c'est pas grave, c'est bien.
Voilà tes amis.
Some friendly camels also to be passed. So that's the view from inside one of the cars at this stage in the rally. Trucks once again, and as we've seen over the last couple of weeks as we've been following the rally, some of the trucks in there purely to race against one another, some of them there very much to provide the spare parts and equipment that the teams need. This is inside one of the Mitsubishi support trucks, and he says here is in one of the 6x6 trucks. Everything that we need basically is in here. It's a complete workshop so that we can work during the night on the vehicles. Spare parts and tools and all the equipment. This is the 4-wheel drive fast assistance truck, mind you, which is slightly different. With this runs behind the cars. It's very light, so quite fast, and it can be close to the cars in case they need any assistance. There's really just a minimum of spare parts in here. We've got some gearbox parts, we've got some shock absorbers, some wishbones, all sorts of cables and bits and pieces, but these are the basic things that may be needed actually on the stage itself. So you can see just how well kitted out these lorries are that are following the course of the rally, and such a very important part of the whole organisation. The Sonauto team that runs the Mitsubishis, running something like 8 support trucks on the event. When you think about the amount of money involved in making sure that they run reliably as well all the way through the distance, it really is a huge operation. But the Sonauto team running it virtually to perfection this year with their 3 cars, still 1, 2 and 3 in the event. I have to say, a good time for Mitsubishi at the moment. The winners of the World Drivers' Championship in rallying last year with Tommi Mäkinen, and it looks as though they're starting off 1997 in style as well by taking the top 3 places on the Dakar. In the truck section, in the outright race, it's still Johan Peter Reif who leads with his Hino truck, and it looks as though the Japanese are going to win the truck section for the first time as well. So on to today's stage, the very last one, 237 kilometres of liaison, but just a short 18-kilometre blast along the shore of the Pink Lake. The last day, sunrise this morning as the competitors got ready for this very last part. 2 weeks of adventure almost coming to a close, and the Atlantic Ocean within sight once more. Stefan Peter-Hansel and David Castera, the 2 Yamaha riders. Peter-Hansel riding towards a record-equaling 5th victory on the Dakar. An absolutely superb performance this year from the Frenchman. He's led it right from the start of the event, and he's never looked like losing that lead. But there's been some good performances from others as well, including the American Jimmy Lewis.
Yeah, you know, this is a hell of a lot more like home. There's something I'm a little bit familiar with behind me, that's the ocean, and I'm pretty happy to make it here this far. It's been a long, 8,000 kilometers, whatever it is.
I feel very tired, but I'm very happy to be here. I'm delighted. I've been looking forward to this moment for 2 weeks now, and I'm very, very happy.
Great to see the Plymouth bike dealer John Deacon there. To the finish, Oscar Gallardo here as well, also delighted. It was a very relaxed day. I was talking with friends at a stage like this, and nothing really ever happens. It's just party time. Well, the party time started on the shore of the Pink Lake this morning as all the bikers set off together. It's a bit of a traditional thing at the end of the Dakar that all the remaining bikes, and there were 58 of them that set off this morning to just take this final blast along. It's more like a motocross stage, this one, with pretty flat-out blast, and the 2 Yamahas riding up at the front as ever. Stefan Peter-Hansel up front, and with a microphone on board once again this time. Well, I'm coming up to equal the score of Cyril Neveu, and it's soon going to be 5 wins apiece. It's a fabulous day. It's a fabulous Dakar. There's a lot of emotion. So much emotion on this rally. For Peter-Hansel, it's been an absolutely superb achievement. We're trying to not go too quickly, says Castera, in order to save the bikes. We're still worried. There's still 20 kilometers to do. It's not over. And there's someone still attacking. That's Carlos Sotelo, and he's going flat out. Sotelo, indeed, the Spaniard, going very well. He was second fastest on this stage. The 2 Yamahas were looking good for the 1 and 2 on the stage early on, but it was to go wrong for them a little bit later on. Back on board with Peter-Hansel. 100% successful for us, says Peter-Hansel. It's perfect. A real dream race. Well, it wasn't going to be quite a dream finish for Castera. Just watch what happened to the second of the motorbikes and closest to the camera here when he got it a little bit wrong. Ouch. But thankfully, none of the other riders behind him ran him over. Castera was soon back up on his feet, and indeed Stefan Peter-Hansel stopped, turned back to see how his teammate was doing. They both got back onto the bikes, and Castera was able to complete the stage, but a bit of a scare indeed for Yamaha right at the very end of it all. Dirk von Zitzwitz, we saw just there, the German rider, 3rd on the stage today, 5th overall, and one of the best ever rookie results from the man experienced in European and World Enduros. But the two Yamahas were back up and running once again. Only 15th on this stage for Peter Hansel, 14th for David Castera. But Peter Hansel came through to take the overall win, his 5th win on the Dakar and the 8th win for Yamaha since the start of it all in 1979. It's just been absolutely brilliant for us, an absolutely fantastic event. Gallardo saying, I'm happy to be second, it's a very good result. Stefan is the winner, and, well, what can you say? He's just the best there is, the number one, no discussion about it. It's difficult to beat him, but maybe in the future I can get onto the first step. And David Castera saying, everybody's done a great job, and I'm just happy for myself and for the Yamaha team.
Up there than it is to sit there and watch it, but I had my string of bad luck. Everybody has a little bit of bad luck, and when I just crashed a few times and lost a lot of time, and there's no way to make it back, and it happens. I'm not too bummed. I rode the best I could all the time, and I'm happy with that.
So Peter Hansel celebrating with a champagne as he deserved to at the end of a superbly ridden rally. The Yamaha, the quality of the field, no doubt about that. And great news for the quad rider Daniel Giroux on the Yamaha quad. He became the first ever quad rider to make it to the end of the Dakar. He finished in 50th place overall. So let's confirm the results. The winner of the 1997 Dakar, 5th time he's taken the success for Stefan Peter Hansel. The Yamaha Motor France team with the 850 twin-cylinder Yamaha produced a bike that was just right for this event. 2nd place for the Spaniard Oscar Gallardo on the Cagiva, another twin-cylinder bike, a bit heavier than the Yamaha, but a great ride from the Spaniard. David Castera, the 2nd of the Yamaha riders, very much there as a backup to Peter Hansel, but he got further and further up the leaderboard as the event continued, and he finished in 3rd place overall. Winner of the marathon class, one of the amateur riders on the event, Jürgen Meyer, the German rider on the KTM. Superb performance from him. And the winner of the experimental class, another amateur rider, you have to be amateur to be in the class, the Frenchman Jean Brucy, who went very rapidly in the final 2 days of the event, also on a KTM. Jean de Azevedo was the winner of the production category, slightly different classes, a little few more modifications allowed to the production class than to the marathon class. He finished in 14th place overall. And our friend Daniel Giroux on the quad, the first quad to get to the end, and obviously the winner of the quad section. And so to the results of today's stage. In fact, it was Jean Brucy who was fastest today from Carlos Sotelo, with John Deacon, look at that, the Briton in 4th place today, superb achievement. And John, the KTM dealer from Plymouth, who retired last year because of a dislocated shoulder on day 7, finished in 17th place overall, superb achievement. And Ian Graham, who celebrated his 33rd birthday on the rally, the chip shop owner from Carrickfergus in Northern Ireland, he finished in 29th place overall, and that's the 2nd year in a row that he's completed the Dakar. So well done to the two British motorcycle riders. The final stage, of course, for the cars as well, although just time to mention quickly that the husband and wife team, the Yamamuras from Japan, who were on the motorbikes together all the way through the event, they did finish the rally, which is good news. They made it through to Dakar. They were last and last but one, but they made it through to the finish. The cars section, though, has all been about Mitsubishi, of course. Running up front through the entire rally, their only threat came from Jean-Louis Schlesser in his buggy in the early part of the event, but Schlesser unfortunately rolled out when he had a tyre explode on him, and since then the Mitsubishis have been able to dominate it the way they wanted, and it really has been a remarkable performance. So reliable. The only slight problem there's ever been is an electrical problem with Fontenay's car on one stage. Apart from that, they've run faultlessly. Well, today, Sabi and Fontenay setting off together on this beach stage, and then stopping, slowing down and waiting for the man who it had been ordered would win the rally, Kenjiro Shinazuka. Fontenay saying, you see, I don't know if you are above us with a helicopter, but it's the 14th year now that I've driven onto this beach, and it's still the same emotion. When you come here for the first time, you know if you should laugh or you should cry. It's something magic to be here, and even more for the bike riders for the first time. Come on, here we go. And there joins Kenjiro Shinazuka, the Japanese driver, 48 years old, who has come through to record an historic victory here for Japan on the Dakar. And what an event it has been for the Japanese on the 1997 Dakar. Fontenay having fun on the left-hand side there, and you wonder if it's not a little bit dodgy, but he's obviously in a mood to enjoy himself. As long as he doesn't hit Sabi, it's all right. In fact, Musmara, his co-driver, saying, be careful, don't get too close to him, don't go off track too much. So the Mitsubishi drivers enjoying themselves right through to the end. But as I mentioned, for Japan, a great rally this has been. Yamaha winning the motorbikes, Mitsubishi winning in the car section, and Hino winning the truck section, and of course with a Japanese driver winning the car section, Shinazuka. This is really a big story in Japan this year. These cars are actually built in France. They're run by a French team, the Sonauto team. They're the official importers of Mitsubishi, and they've been running Mitsubishis on the Dakar since 1983, when they won the standard class back then. 1984, Britain's Andrew Cowan finished third overall in the event for Mitsubishi, and since then they've had lots of success, and it's backed up by a 1-2-3 today.
It's super feeling, because I wait 12 years. I participate since 86, so now this time is 12 times. So I wait long time to the win, so now super feeling.
And Bruno Savi saying Mitsubishi hadn't won since 1993. That was a victory I took with Dominique Serres. So there was always a bit strange coming into this rally without Citroën here. We had to assume that it would be good for us, but we can be very satisfied, because to take all three top places, remarkable performance, exceptional, and it's a dream for a constructor. Jutta Kleinschmidt coming through fastest today on this beach stage. It's her second stage win on the event, and she finished in 5th place overall, and that's the best ever result for a woman either on the motorbike or in a car on the Dakar. So a superb achievement from the German lady.
The last word, this was a very nice Dakar for me, because I finished 5th, sure, and I won the T3 and the two-wheel drive category, so cannot be better, huh?
Indeed, a superb performance from Jutta, and just a shame that Schlesser wasn't able to make it through to the end as well. Meanwhile, Jean-Pierre Strugo, good result for Mitsubishi himself as well, winning one of the other classes, the various different classes that go through, and other fine performances. The likes of Bruno Lotelleri finished at 11th place overall in the number 238, Carlos Souza winning in the T1 class, and the two Nissans of Salvador Servia and Duarte Guedes finishing 6th and 8th overall. Nissan, Toyota and SsangYong for that matter, the other works teams that were involved this year, not really in the same race as Mitsubishi, but you have to say that Mitsubishi had planned for this right from last year's Dakar, and perhaps we'll see some of the other major manufacturers really coming into the event in fine style next year. Perhaps they'll really put in a big effort to challenge the likes of Mitsubishi. But for this year, Shinazuka and Mitsubishi taking the accolades. So let's just confirm the results then. Kenjiro Shinazuka and Henri Magne, the winners of the Dakar event overall. Another historic win for Shinazuka, the first Japanese driver to win the Dakar. Jean-Pierre Fontenay and Bruno Musmara finishing in 2nd place in another of the Mitsubishi Pajeros that were developed throughout the 1996 season. And Bruno Sabi and Dominique Serres made it a 1-2-3 for the Japanese manufacturer. Their 4th win on the Dakar, but they still got some way to beat the Peugeot Citroën Combine, which has taken 8 wins on the Dakar in its 19-year history. Jutta Kleinschmidt and Jean Bouter finishing in 5th place overall, top two-wheel drive car, winners of the T3 2 category, and top woman as well. Jean-Pierre Strugo with Bruno Cattarelli winning in the T3 1 class in the 4-wheel drive part of the T3 class, the prototype, well, the very modified versions, and they finished in 7th place overall. Carlos Sousa from Portugal with Philippe Ray winning in the T1 category, the very bog-standard machines where they can change virtually nothing throughout the course of the rally. It has to get through reliably, and that's exactly what they did. Miguel Prieto and Carlos Mas, a former bike rider on the Dakar himself, co-driving this year, they won the marathon class and finished in 12th place overall. Toshinori Asaga and Kenji Ito in a Toyota finished 2nd in the marathon class and in 19th place overall. And Jean-Pierre Cottret and Jean-Pierre Garcin, another Toyota, won the diesel class of the T2 category. They finished 33rd. Henri Pescarolo with Jérôme Boussier, the former Grand Prix driver, won the diesel category of the T3 class and finished 26th overall. And the top all-girls team, Joanna Lemos and Karine Duray, they finished in 40th place overall. Johan Peter Reif and Johan Deinhofer won in the trucks in the Japanese Hino truck. And they finished in 23rd place amongst all the cars and trucks. The last truck, well, that was some 108 hours behind the winner of the event. That's something like 4 days behind. So to the results of today's stage, Jutta Kleinschmidt the fastest, but it was all about Mitsubishi really today. Let me just tell you that Philippe Alliot finished 21st overall, a good performance from another ex-Formula 1 driver. And what about our British pairing? Well, they made it, I'm glad to tell you. Dick Partridge and Keith Parker from Ipswich. They spent £20,000 buying and preparing their Isuzu Trooper, and they've made it to Dakar. It's the first time they've achieved their objective in 5 attempts. So brilliant. Well done, chaps. And let's hope there'll be more Britons on the event in 1998. It can be done. They've proved it. And a quick look at the trucks, of course, the big machines of the deserts that always impress people with their ability to go anywhere and as quickly as they do as well. And Hino becoming the 3rd of the Japanese manufacturers to take success on the event this year. It's their 7th Dakar. They've been working hard for success, but it's their first win on the event. Twice second in 1994 and in 1995. This time, they've taken the outright win in the truck section.